Communism is social ownership.
Welcome to the Adam and Sheridan Show podcast. My name is Adam Courtwright.
I kind of stepped on your name
You
there.
literally interrupted me. Literally. Why does everyone add the word literally to things? As if saying you interrupted me isn't enough information. If someone says, in what way did he interrupt you? Oh, literally. Now it makes sense.
Should we...
my name is Adam Courtwright. I'm one half of the Adam and Sheridan Show.
I'm the Sheridan half.
Sheridan half. We have a radio show on WRFALP 107.9, WRFALP.com. Before we get to anything, any stuff that we are going to talk about...
We should explain haircuts.
Oh, yeah. I got my hair cut.
You did, and beard shaved.
For the first time.
I got my hair cut too. I don't know. You guys might know this. You might not. I had long hair up until October of last year.
Mm-hmm.
Go
to his Facebook page. There's old pictures.
Oh my goodness, it was looking bad. Mm-hmm. So this is new to me. I'm trying out different styles. Tell me how awesome I look.
And for me, I had a huge beard, about 10 months worth, and hadn't cut my hair. I'm bald anyway, but it grows in the back.
He was homeless chic.
Exactly, and a lot of people were like, well, what is he trying to prove with this? Is he trying to show that he's...
The poverty has unintended consequences.
The real reason is because I was lazy and didn't want to shave.
Yeah.
That's all it came down to. I don't like the feeling of razors against my skin.
I don't either, but luckily I don't grow facial hair very well.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Well, there's a little bit of stubble in there.
There's stubble, but it's a wispy kind of stubble once it gets longer. And
this is closer to your chin than I've ever been in my entire life. So
that's true.
That's not a bad thing necessarily. No, before we continue on, I just want to say this past weekend, happy June, by the way.
Happy June.
We're moving right along in 2013.
Oh, yeah.
We were at the Great American Picnic. There was some great talent that performed. I don't know if you can see the Woodstock ripoff there that is on this poster, which is a good thing.
That's out of focus. That is terribly out of focus.
Anyway,
why are we doing this?
If you had a chance to go on our next video podcast next week, we are going to be doing a rundown on that. So stay tuned for that.
Absolutely.
Okay, let's talk about a few things that we didn't get to touch on our last radio show. Number one is, if you listened to our radio show last week, we played a clip from Barack Obama's speech where he attempted to come clean on the use of drones and then say that he was going to start reducing the frequency of drones.
He was going to roll it back. Yeah,
roll it back. He basically did what Dwight Eisenhower did. He said,
by the way,
I am warning you of the military-industrial complex. Flash forward to this past Wednesday, and he used a drone in Pakistan that killed 7 people.
By the way, I feel like Camera B is kind of a drone thing right now.
And we may as well start getting used to it, because one of the things that we always joke about is that Sheridan and I are on the kill list because we're so vocally anti-Obama.
We're a big feature of Terror Tuesdays, honestly.
Mm-hmm.
Actually, during our show, we had one part where we just got silent. We got this explosion sound effect from YouTube.
It's somewhere in our
podcast,
wrfalp.wordpress.com.
If you can find it, we'll give you a prize.
Mm-hmm.
Please don't find it. We have no prizes. But yeah, it's basically he was saying, listen, this lady whom I had kicked out is worth listening to about the danger of drones.
She was heckling him during the speech.
I'm off to drones and people.
Yeah, I mean, it was literally less than a week later.
And one of the things he talked about with the drone program was how it afforded him secrecy that boots on the ground and missile attacks didn't, which is an awful, awful thing. Mostly because the Obama administration, and actually most administrations recently, love secrecy. This was a big conversation in the 70s, but is a smaller conversation now. And the Stratfor private company was just recently hacked, and the hacker that performed this hack, I said hack.
That's a lot of hacking.
That's a lot of hacking. I feel like a horror movie.
Yeah, I'd like to film one.
But he pled guilty, saying this is I did what I believe is right, and Mr. Hammond now is looking at up to 10 years in prison.
In federal penitentiary.
In federal penitentiary.
Is it federal penitentiary?
I believe so, yeah.
And this is a continuation of police state measures, and we were talking about how in Boston, on just this past show, how in Boston it almost seemed eerily like the U.S. government was planning for, not necessarily that particular bombing, but whatever the next terrorist attack was going to be, that there was a contingency plan to have a militarized police force come in and go door to door in various neighborhoods in Boston to search for this terrorist. And it really had, I mean, you can go YouTube police in Boston after the marathon bombing, and you can see young people being just forced out of their homes and with their hands in their air, and these police officers going into these houses without search warrants. And it seemed like it was in a third world country.
There is a provision for imminent danger.
Well, there was no imminent danger. This was a 17-year-old kid who was bleeding profusely, who was going to die soon if he didn't have medical care, and he almost did die. The whole thing just seemed like a dress rehearsal for an actual, military style clampdown.
But honestly, they've been taking drastic steps against people who would do us harm, like an 82-year-old nun.
Yes, we touched on that on the show.
We did. An 82-year-old nun, which was initially charged with a misdemeanor trespassing, and then it was
tell
escalated.
Her where it was though.
It was at a nuclear facility.
The Oak Ridge
facility at Oak Ridge, Oak Ridge Y12, and they got all the way into the building and used spray paint peace slogans. They were
very scary.
They went willingly with the police, but from July to December, their charges went from misdemeanor trespassing to sabotage against the U.S. government. They're facing 35 years in prison. Possibly they were found guilty of all charges and are being held in prison waiting sentencing, which is going to happen September 23rd.
Now, we don't condone trespassing and breaking and entering. But again, the level of response compared to the actual crime is it's absurd. They
were peace activists going after the nuclear weapons program, which happens, and the Department of Justice went after them, said that they could give no testimony regarding why they did this, which is a terrible thing.
Would it be fair to say that what we're trying to communicate here is there's a criminalization of dissent?
Yeah.
Going on, whether it be an 82-year-old nun, or let's say the city of Boston, instead of it being a terrorist attack by someone from Dagestan, what if it was a huge protest of workers in downtown Boston that said, we're protesting income inequality, kind of like what happened with the Occupy movement.
Outside the Department of Justice this week.
You could kind of envision
30 people were arrested.
You can kind of envision now that the U.S. government has Black Hawk helicopters and tanks and
they always have, but the fact that they're becoming more available and drone technology is being used by local law enforcement.
I didn't mean to imply that we didn't have those things before, but now they're being integrated into the police forces in local cities.
Yeah.
And that's what we're trying to say. We're trying to basically alarm you so you get really scared and poop your pants. Did we succeed?
Oh yeah, yellow journalism. Oh, we're just terrible. We're just
yellow journalism.
No, isn't that the term?
No, it is.
For
it is. But then I thought poop and pee. Yellow. No, we're of the brown journalism type. Look at that! Our battery's going to die.
Why are we referencing feces? All right,
we have to go anyway. So we're done.
This has been the Adam and Sheridan Show.
He's Sheridan. My name is Adam Courtwright. You can email us if you want. adamandsheridanshow@gmail.com. Leave a comment.
Facebook.
In the section below. Facebook us.
We're on Twitter. All right. Stay active.
Mine was.
What did you bring to the show?
The global inequality and the drone.
The drone. For some reason, I think we're not going to have an outtake this show. I don't know why. I just it's going to seem contrived because we're both kind of tired and anxious to get out of here.
Yeah, I am tired, but who knows?